Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Each and every mechanism of this world has an action, has progress and growth, and it has its own destination. And to see that the system that exists inside it could be ever active and it can reinstate the position of freshness and dynamism in spite of its continuous pursuit of action. Each and every system has its own destinations, directions and also the defects. So it needs 6 types of actions and 6 types of urging spirit to conduct those actions. One is to survive. Second is to grow, develop or prosper, whatever you call. Third thing is, if any case of insufficiency, you should have the power of restoration. If there is any repair in the functional system, you should go into self-repairing system known as rectification. And if it wants to go beyond a gradual system of progress, what we call a hyper-vital urge which leads to advancement, it should have the tools for advancement. And for completion, fulfillment and culmination, it needs additional tools. So for all of these things, they require a strong urge. It may be internal, it may be external or ambivalent. Ambivalent energy that comes from inner sources with the aid of outer sources. So all mechanisms, sun, if you take sun, moon and stars, they have their own depletion. But the rate of depletion may be different from our rate of depletion. If ours is in decades, that may be in millenniums. We are just getting slowed down by decades. Sun may be getting slowed down by millennia. And stars be light years. So there may be different, but everything that has the composition of metal, that has its own degradation, depletion, deterioration, demise and re-energization and resurrection in the process of annihilation and creation that exists in the cosmic industry. So, for all of these 6 factors, survival, growth, development in the sense of advancement, 4th thing is restoration, 5th is rectification, 6th is culmination, it needs an urge, something from the outer society. Plants are there, just as we are very much bothered about vitamins. We are very much bothered about identification of things and going here and there and developing a lot of things. But we do not see plants in search of food of different varieties here and there. We are having dependence only on the earth. And animals, they are not very selective. They are selective. Animals are having selective tendency. There somebody, they videographed a special occasion in which a dog, especially bitten by a scorpion, it suddenly smelled something, went somewhere else, has eaten somebody's. You know that dog rarely feeds on leaves and other things. Immediately, by means of a self-diagnostic mechanism or a self-defense mechanism, already it has been there in the spirit. It has been told that non-domesticated, if they are domesticated and mingle with human beings, they will lose all energies available. So those who are having unfading inherence due to non-association with the so-called grown-up members of the human society, those who are there within the plant community and nature community, they have all senses. They know about herbs, they can feel about sounds, they can understand the distant emotions and responses. So there are 10 things which are not there suitable to this context, but these things are very much available with the subhuman species who we consider human beings and advanced intellectual beings. All the subhuman beings, they don't know anything at all. Subhuman beings have inherent science. They have a laboratory, they have their observatory, they have their conservatorium, they have everything whatever we possess outside, inside. And they need whatever that is required for their survival and safety. Not highly advanced knowing how to fly, how to swim, how to submarine, all things are not there within them, but they are limited with the knowledge which is more than essential for their self-safeguarding and development at all. They know how to nurture themselves, nurture their young ones, how to safeguard themselves, how to create the defensial ring and make ourselves very much procurably secure. Everything is known to them. So what we want to emphasize here is all living beings, they know the root. Those things are inbuilt in the inherence. For example, sun is there, sun is inbuilt with rectification. Sun is inbuilt with self-repairing. Sun is inbuilt with culmination. Sun is inbuilt with everything that is required for the solar survival, solar development and progress. Within the life cycle, everybody is provided with that. But human beings, as they behave very smart, God has given them the tools of intellect. You are very smart, so go and search. Go and strive, go and struggle, because whenever a person behaves very meek and humble, such persons will be given inner provisions. Whenever you are over smart, then you will be given hard risks. Yeah, I could understand, yes, I could follow, I want to know. If you behave something in the pretext of curiosity, showing your egoism or showing your capability more than what you really are, then you will be given arduous exercises. Risky and Herculean tasks will be given to you. Okay, you can behave, you can go that. You should crush oil from the stone and drink it in a bottomless pan. Do that. So, these exercises are uploaded on human beings because of their over smart behavior. Now we are in search of lot of things for our existence. If we want to survive, we need some food. What we want is nutrient. There is a question when we just discussed the same thing in nutrition studies. There was a lecture. The first fundamental idea of nutrition is everything is nutritious. Everything is nutritious. But you should understand three things. One, if there is a nutrition, is the nutrition harmless or salubrious to me? For example, we are seeing lot of people or lot of various other persons in the tribal community eating lot of things. We are seeing lot of subhuman species consuming lot of animals, lot of venomous snakes and other things. For them it is digestible, for them it is palatable, assimilable, for them it is adaptable to their body. So nutrition, it does not mean it is full of energy, because everything is full of energy. There are three levels of nutrition. One, your body should accept it. It may be non-nutritious. If the nutrition configuration of the element, if it is not compatible, for example, there are lot of green leaves. We are seeing lot of cattle just roaming on it, grazing on it. But at the time of your appetite, if you consume that, psychologically and physiologically you cannot be fulfilled. Or it may be totally repelled against. So it should be acceptable by your body. It should not harm your body. Second thing, even if it is accepted by your body, you should get the fullest extraction of nutrition. It should be in the adaptable format also, nutritious level, not only in the initial adaptation level. There are two levels of adaptation. One is adapting the structure. Whatever that is available, it should be adapted. It is just interim or immediate adaptation. The second thing is, in the inner vision, it should be adapted content-wise. Not only on the base of the structure, like leaves or roots or something else, but also in the inner content, the nutrients or the micronutrients or the inner surfaces, they should be also equally adaptable to you. So there are a lot of things which you can munch, which you can masticate and enter inside your body, but those things will not be nutrient-wise or nutrocalculatively, they will not be adapted by your body. They will be adapted, but not nutritiously. You see, you should understand, even if you take something, whatever you have taken in the form of food, they will be disintegrated into several levels. By means of the juice of the saliva, by means of the food canal juice, by means of the intestinal assimilant, which we call as the intestinal juice, those things are broken into various levels. First level, third level, second level. So these three levels are breaking up. Main things are composed of various visible matter. They are broken into sub-material matter. Then they are divided into proteins and various other minerals. Then they are developed or further disintegrated into micronutrients which can be absorbed and taken inside the body. Directly you cannot inject calcium or idli or dosa inside your body. They should be broken into their nutritious base. Then nutritious base should be divided into their nutritious elements. Nutritious elements should be divided into micronutrients. Only micronutrients can enter inside. Lot of things which cattle are taking inside, those things are not easily breakable as micronutrients. They will be in the form of nutritional elements or nutritional derivatives. They cannot be converted into micronutrients. So even though it is physically adaptable, nutrition wise they are not adaptable by human body. So something is harmful, something is hard, something is hazardous, something is very Herculean for us to assimilate. These innumerable divisions are there. So nutrition is to be understood here as something compatible to the human body, that which gives selective nourishment that which gives immediate assimilation and adaptability to the human body. And third thing, nutrition was to say that it should provide some sort of composite care and health to the body. Interim pleasure, immediate pleasure, pseudo pleasure, presuppositional pleasure, peripheral pleasure, ephemeral pleasure, surreal pleasure. These things are given by innumerable varieties. We are eating a lot of varieties. Are we really happy? Something we are very much concerned about our immediate visitor, not about our permanent relative. There are three persons: visitor, guest and relative. And visitor is our tongue, and guest is a canal, and the permanent relative, like our own couplet, it is our wife, it is our partner. The intestinal support is a permanent support which is going to live with us for an eternal life. We are very much attracted. There are three types of attractions. One is the taste bud attraction, second is a canal attraction, third thing is the assimilation or intestinal attraction. That which is attracted by the intestine, that which is considered to be very much salubrious to our composite health, that is to be real health. But what we have to develop is not eat something. First we should learn what is eating technology. First of all, there should be a lesson about how to develop the real taste buds. If we develop our real taste buds, you know that whenever you are subjected to fever, you know that whatever you want to taste, that will appear to be bitter in nature. And you won't have any taste at all. You won't have any feeling of appetite at all. But you will have feeling of appetite, but there will be a repulsion of consuming food. These things happen at the time of your fever. Like that, normally we are having a fever. An unorganized fever is there normally with all people. I am not talking about abnormal or special fevers. We are normally having a fever that is known as casual fever, that is known as characteristic fever. Whenever our fever, which we does not know that we are feverish in nature, we should realize only from Shastras. So instead of symptomic understanding of fear by touching the temperature and thing, we can clearly interpret about the fever by our food habits. By seeing the food habits, what you like, then you like, how much you like. If you like offering and eating, if you like sharing and eating, if you like a common and peaceful way of eating, if you like limited way of intervals of eating, if you like some sense of food which is sattvic and which is non-spicy in nature, naturally you can say that you are healthy. If it is otherwise, you are feverish. That is a food fever. So by your behavior, by your exercise of food consumption, we can clearly understand whether you are feverish or impoverished. You can easily understand about your physical stature. So whenever you call about nutrition, it should be composite health oriented, it should be compatible to the body, it should be adaptable. So everything is not nutritious. Everything is composed of energy, but for your purpose there is a design. For your body there is a design. For your common kind and kith there is a design. So we have to approach to our own common way. What a human being should eat, what a human being doing a particular work, during a particular season, during a particular environment, what is the contextual behavior. A person having an aim and purpose of full salubrity, mental upliftment, intellectual focusing, spiritual development and moving. If a person's purpose is different, then the food is designed as per that. So for human being the food is different. Especially for a purposeful human being, the food is different. Especially for a committed, active, and a person want to be useful to others, his food is entirely different. So it is mental, it is physical, and it is spiritual. It should make his body to function, mind to be stabilized, intellect to be sharp, and spirit to be pure. And that is a composite food that we are going to prescribe for people. Nutrition means you can take anything at all, but there should be a particular designation for the food, especially that is designed for your purposes. So nutrition is very much confined. It is tailored to a person's need and a person's adaptability. If I am there, then I have to take my own food based on my own aim. So in this nutrition, we are going to explain some special categories of nutrition. Generally, there are few categories of nutrition which I want to say. There are 4 categories they used to say in Shastras. One is special nutrition. Second is exact and extra nutrition. Third is advanced nutrition. Fourth is subtle nutrition. Exact and extra nutrition is there. Exact nutrition is that nutrition that you get from common food. By consuming food whenever you want, the Shastra says that how much food you have to take. How much food you have to take, it is known as mushtika. It is mushtika. And a person should take 3 mushtika, 5 mushtikas and 7 mushtikas. And 7 mustika food is overload. 5 is mediocre and 3 is very normal. That does not mean that you have to eat less and suffer while work. It shows that you should enrich the food quality so that this 3 handful of food or 3 morsels itself can give you the utmost prowess that is required for running your physical machinery. That is rule number 1. If a person can do comfortably the work with 3 mushtikas of food, handfuls of food, then certainly it gives you the first ideology that a person should pack the power inside the 3 morsels or 3 handfuls of food so that he can run effectively his machinery. The second thing is, the person should have some sort of modifier. There are 2 types of nutrition. Common nutrition, specific nutrition. Now, what you are having is specific nutrition. For eye you eat this, for nose you eat this, for right nostril and left nostril you have to eat this and that, and for mouth you eat this. So innumerable things are there specifically meant for each and every organ that we are having now. But how animals are eating? How our ancestors, they ate food and they were healthy than us? How it was possible? Because there is a common nutrition system. It reaches the homeostasis or the common resistant reservoir, CRRR. What is CRR? Common resistance reservoir. There is a common resistance reservoir inside our genetic code, and whenever we consume something, that is taken inside and it is distributed to all portions. We have 2 special energies which most of the dietitians, they don't realize. One is modifier, second is multiplier. What is modifier? If you consume an element like a carrot, if you consume, you list down the ingredients of carrot, vitamin A or this and that, you list the ingredients of carrot. Then after consuming that, you can realize that not only the ingredients of that particular consumed element that is there inside you, but also a lot of unconsumed new things are produced. How it is possible? It is by the modifier which is inbuilt in the homeostasis. What is that? What is modifier? If you consume a particular thing, there is no difference between vitamin A, B, C, D, E, K. There is no difference at all. It is only concentration difference. If there is a powerful amino acid, that amino acid can be converted with any configuration to any vitamin whatever you require, and body has that power. So if you consume something, everything is converted into that basic amino acid which the body recognizes as, I want this much proportion for this. Just as if you give 1000 rupees to your mother, she will pay 50 rupees to the washerman, 50 rupees for the cook, 100 for the driver, like that. Even distribution, proportionate distribution can be governed by the inner resistance mechanism, provided you are internally healthy. Not external health. Provided you are internally healthy, the common distribution system, it knows what type of vitamin, how much of proportionate value should be distributed, in how many intervals to which part of the body, it knows it. That is the inner sensibility, inner sensation, or the inner envisioning that is there with the common coordination system of human body. That is known as modifier. And second thing, it is idiotic if you think that whatever you consume, there are 3 levels of consumption. 1. If you consume 10 units, 5 or 6 units are taken inside the body, 2 units for the mechanism to function, and 2 or 3 units they are excreted. It is one stage. In a low profile body, 5 units are taken for digestion and other things because of stomach upset and various other problems. That is being taken more for exhaustion, and only 2 or 3 as energy and 3 is exhausted, and it may be different also. Only 2 things are taken and 8 come by excretion in dysentery, diarrhea, etc. We are seeing that. The third level is not seen in the human world at all. It is rare to see. Wherein by 1 unit is taken for all your bodily functions, and 1 unit is taken as solid waste, and 8 units are supplied. More than that, there is also one strange thing which is unimaginable, wherein by 10 units if consumed, it becomes 100 units, and only 10 units are discharged in excretion, 10 units for maintenance, and 80 units the person gains. The saints and sages, they are believed that they have taken dry leaves, air and mere water, by which they have done something which even the bullock carts cannot do. It is a hard work, that is a smart work. There is a silent work, there is a special work, salient work, and stupidity work, innumerable works are there. The rishis, they have taken a salient challenge in their life, taking the food which is lower than the food of a bullock. So there is a human possibility by which you can multiply the energy. You only know about the reverse mechanism known as division. Whatever you consume inside your body, that is divided, one part is taken, one is excreted, and one is maintained for sustainability of your actions of consumption, mastication, loading, transportation, assimilation, distribution, and blood circulation. These are all the 7 activities of food intake and outtake. So in these, all of these things we spend energy. That is what we believe, that energy is spent. But there is a system in physics known as rotary kinetics. And rotary kinetics and rotary kinetics and rotary kineticism is what is that whenever you do an act, energy is not spent, energy is gained. So even though we cannot gain 100 units of energy, what we want is at least we should get whatever the energy that is available in our food without more wastage. Our immediate aim is not to become a yogi, but at least to become a proper bhogi without any other systemic failure and other unwanted disturbances. We should be completely, at least as a human being. Then becoming superhuman, parahuman is really different. First of all, you should be a man. Superman means you should have that celebrity and intention to do some work and capability to execute. That is a Superman. Who is a Superman? Superman is a person who can care for himself and also for a dozen of people at least. He is not a Superman. Superman is not a person with that red robe and blue dress. He should have some supernatural quality at all. So, composite nutrition and specific nutrition. Specific nutrition means this vitamin, this part. Composite nutrition means if you take something by your physical practice, by yogic practice, we can see that energy is evenly distributed to all parts of the body. That is the second thing. And I have told about modifier and multiplier. Without this modifier and multiplier, you should be always extra dependent. If you don't have the power, inner power, by which the energy that is consumed by you commonly can be modified into any energy required, what will be your problem? You have to consume everything separately. You have to care for not only your body, eye, nose, ears, the neck, each and every part of body you should take care, and you cannot do any other work except taking care of your body. In cosmetology it is okay. You take care of your eyebrows, eyes, lips, the nose and other things. But in nutrition, there should be a common purpose. There should be each and every inch is nourished separately. You cannot do any other work except cooking, tasting and other works, supplementary works. You cannot do anything at all. So our duty is to create, how to induce. I don't know how it will work on all people, at least with the children. Provided they are not having a genetic infection, with 2 or 3 model children, we can see how this modification of energies and multiplicity of energies can work out. If these 2 things are not going to work out, you have to consume innumerable tablets and varieties of nutrition carrying for each and every inch of the body, which is absurd, which is a total wastage of risk and time. So there are 4 nutritions I have already told. The first thing is known as the extra nutrition, because whatever you get as food, you are not getting full nutrition. Because of fertilizers they say, and because of various things we also discussed today morning, they are not properly processed, within you. So due to which the exact nutrition that you require for your bodily action is not supplied by general food. So you need a food supplement. Spirulina, you should take some other thing, either natural source, organic source, or herbal source, or any conglomerated source of advanced biochemical engineering, any biomedical new innovative products like known as transformers, elixirs, aphrodisiacs and potentializers. Innumerable things are there in the society. So you should depend upon natural things which is there automatically made by modifiers and these multipliers. If it is not there, you have to be cruelly dependent upon a perennial aid. You will be permanently handicapped and you are in need of a prosthetic tool of extra supplementary food. That is totally crucial, that is very cruel, that is excruciating how you can be dependent with a long-term basis on all of these things. So this is known as extra nutrition. Exact nutrition is calorie oriented, potential oriented, a person's work oriented, a person's genetic nature oriented, a person's physical repulse, response and imprint oriented food. It is known as exact. Only a mother can do that. A mother should be both benevolent and compassionate and also be a nutritional specialist. And only she can know out of her emotion if she starts feeding, it may be very much between the taste buds of both the mother and child. But considering the salubrity and long-term health of a person, it may not be suitable. So exact nutrition is based on the work you do. Second thing, your own personalized energy. If you have personalized energy of 5 units, it is enough if you can get 5 units from external side. What is personalized energy? A person's hope, a person's relaxation, a person's recreation, a person's noble thoughts, a person's good digestion and sleep is personal energy. If a person sleeps well, if a person digests well, if a person feels always well, if a person has rest, relaxation, recreation and divine reverence in all prosperous and prospective proportionate, that the person is personally very healthy. He cannot take more food at all. And whereas a person devoid of that, he requires a different type of food. So a mother or a nutrition specialist or any council like this, like organizations which are doing such things, they have to identify a person's absolute personal nature, individualistic nature. And they have to customize the food for that based on the work, genetic background, a person's personal energy response and various other things. So, extra nutrition and exact nutrition I have already told you. Second thing is special nutrition. It is very much interesting to know about this special nutrition. There are some sort of imprints inside. A person's bhava inside the food, which we cannot deny and which cannot be easily that is understood by a microscope or by a telescopic vision or something else. It should be understood only by the bhava. If somebody purchases something for you, in that purchase, there is their willingness. There is the imprint of their willingness. They have gone and they have selected those items for you, which are the minutest delicate imprints or impressions of their willingness, their love and their well-wishing nature for your development and for your existence is very subtly felt inside. The same person who has selected and purchased, the same person cleans and processes and cooks it in the form of food, then it is more added. When the same thing is served, that is more added. And if they are small people, they are fed. At the time of the small ages, it is fed. This feeding does not show the inability of the child to munch and crunch. It also shows the ability of the mother in that particular period to feed her affection and emotional binding also at that impressionable age, which will come for rescue, proper support and remote operational control of the child's character and career in their growing ages. So it is something subtle. So a person who selects and who processes it, and a person who cooks or manufactures and serves with affection in each and every step, that is known as special nutrition. Special nutrition is in some area. Whenever a child's response level is 0, you should understand, the child's response level is 0, the mother selects, cooks, serves and feeds. 4 responses are given. That the child being attached properly, the second level is, first level is emotional reception. Second level is beginning of emotional response. It starts to cry for mom, this and that we are seeing. Then they are making their moms cry later, that is different. Second level, they start to cry for mom, ask for mom and always be in the compassionate embrace of the mother. That we are seeing there. At that time the response starts. So the child comes from 0 to 5. At that level, the food is hardened. The lactic breastfeed that is stopped. And instead of the internal emotional connectivity by breastfeeding is stopped when the child grows. Because the child gets 5. So 15 from internal feed is stopped. Then the external feed, that is selection, processing and feeding, that is there. Something grows, then it is not fed because it comes to the level of 10 in emotional response. Then it is stopped, then it is just given as cooking and serving. So each and everybody's foundation of emotional relation should be constructed in such a manner that is known as specific nutrition. Whenever she selects, whenever she serves, whenever she processes the food, she should not only supply the affection but also her intention. Let you be a fruitful boy, let you be a great glowing intellectual, let you be affectionate towards me, let you be serving, let you be binding, let you be under my control. That is a harmless productive control. It is not over emotional control which spoils a child. In the pretext of emotional control, indulgence, over favor should not be there. There is rigidity in lot of families. Over rigidity makes the person to be a stealthy rogue in the outside society. Over compression of a person makes him to get into depression and all. And over flexibility of a person makes the person to be totally a Romeo in the society, roaming on all areas without any self-control or external watch. So there should be a reasonable way of governing a child, which is possible only by the intentional feed coupled with the emotional feed, that is known as special or special way of nutrition. What is special? Human being is having a biological attachment and the child is processed inside the embryo. That special attachment, by means of a special method of feed, it should be done so. So any person who is not having time or who is saying that it is not required, they will lose the emotional binding and depth. The people, they will be isolated, inner isolation. They will be isolated by themselves and also by their surrounding. So it is known as special nutrition. And what is the third nutrition? Advanced nutrition. What is advanced nutrition? Whenever we take the remains of Homa, it is known as Yajna Shishta Ashana. Krishna says in Gita, there are three Shishta Sheshas. One is Yajna Shishta, Bhagavad Shishta, Bhagavad Shishta Shesha. So what is advanced nutrition? Whenever you are getting the prasad from learned people, you are also getting that knowledge transferred. That is advanced. Whenever you are taking prasad from the temple, that is advanced nutrition. You should not consult it with normal nutrition. If you take curd rice from a divine source, you should not be equally evaluated with the curd rice which you are making here and which you are purchasing in hotels. So it has advanced nutrition. It has divine clemency. It has a divine concern for you. It has divine power package provided it is properly offered to the God. But anyhow that ambience is also there. So that is known as advanced nutrition, where you get valor, glamour, color, potency, knowledge, acumen, perspicacity, caliber boost, everything whatever that is required for your employment, everything you get from that. That is known as advanced nutrition. Then fourth is subtle nutrition. Whatever you get from food we are getting, but by kind words, by inspiring words, by motivation, by love, by various things you get energy. A person is totally depressed. At the time a great person comes, he catches his hand, immediately the person is energized. Don't worry, what he has given? Two bottles of glucose, or one bottle of saline water, or any neurobian injection, what he has given? It is not a subtle nutrition. We should not understand, we should not always think or confined with only material injections or material nutrition. Subtle nutrition comes from word, from good thought, from distant prayer, our meditation, worship, rituals, these various things, they supply more food than whatever we believe that we are getting from food sources. So it is known as subtle nutrition. These four nutritions we have to understand in food science. We don't know how much we have time to receive this nutrition, but to our kids who are going to come, and those kids who have recently come, those kids who are coming on the way, those kids who have come outside, those kids who are being brought up in outside, all of these tender kids who are in the various levels, inception, conception, visualization, holding, delivery, postnatal, infant, various levels of these children who are very much susceptible and impressionable in stature to receive our kindness, to receive our empowerment exercises, we have to care for them more. We don't know how we are corrigible, how we are adaptable, how we are treatable and tolerable, we don't know. But at least to our children, we can emphasize these exercises. This is the way of understanding. And whenever coming to practical way of nutrition, there are innumerable problems in the society. First thing is there is a combat between fertilizers and farm fresh. Farm fresh means now we are saying that yes, we are doing organic farming. Fertilizers are totally neglected. So there is a primary question, even if a person throws everything and eats proper food, is the food so qualified? There are two problems. One is person's behavior of eating is not qualified enough for food. He is unqualified. Second problem in the society is even if we are ready, the food is not qualified to be in settlement with our behavior. Because of over fertilization, which we call as defertilization in the pretext of fertilization of food in various parts, that makes us totally disqualified. So that even if we get the food, there are problems with the food instead of having potence from the food. So that is the first issue. Second thing is transgenic foods. Now innumerable things. Now recently all the scientists of the Boston Institute of Nature and Environmental Sciences, they have raised a unanimous voice against genetically modified crops, GMC. So they give us more quantitative production, not qualitative production. There is a compromise in quality, but quantity wise they are in size bigger. Like the kid who comes in Honey group, the kids, pumpkins, brinjals, everything whatever you see is in mammoth size. Like what we have read in the Gulliver's Travels, everything is in a very mammoth size. But regarding the quality adaptation, regarding the enrichment in providing a nutritional society, it is nothing. It is transgenic. And say the second thing is transgenic. That is the problem. It is a scientific hindrance. Fertilizer is also a scientific hindrance in agriculture. The third problem is within our own way of behavior. It is a behavioral problem that exists with the human beings because of that I have already told. They are very much addicted by taste. Due to the taste alluration, they are having three problems. One is known as fast food problem. Second is waste food problem. Third is food bin problem. What is fast food problem? Fast foods are immediately cooked and processed foods. And in order to make a person, see, when you stop eating food, whenever you are fulfilled, you will eat stopping. Whenever you are totally satisfied, you will eat stopping. There is one more way. Whenever the food is very irritating, you will stop it. Fast foods are so much irritants to our sense systems so that we cannot consume more. Fast foods, they have lot of irritants. And somebody developed a very strange desire for all the irritants. There is a strange desire inside the people. Most of the things that are harmful to our body, they develop a strong irritation and repulsion. But somebody like to taste that irritation and rejection. That is due to some misfunction or malfunction of their realistic body resistance. If it is attuned properly by means of a strong counseling, they will just leave this strange desire of their willingness to taste something which is irritating and which is deteriorating their health structure. So fast food culture, everybody they are eating fast food. And second is waste food. Horlicks, Nutrimul, Complan. Not even a single insect can survive with that energy. How human beings can survive? We are having innumerable ingredients. What is there not to eat in our traditional system? Whatever you see as energy drink, whatever you see as an energy beverage specially made, or any other nutrient mixture, that has nothing at all. If you have some ragi powder or some other powder which you are manufacturing in your domestic arena, if you keep it within 10 or 12 days, you will see immediately there will be some insects inside. Because there is life force, there is moisture, so some living beings come. Can anybody see or have anybody seen an insect inside Horlicks or Nutrimul or Complan? They will not come because there is no life force at all. So nobody can survive in that. This thing is known as waste food, which we are thinking as energy drink by believing advertisements that children are growing to the level of a palm tree. These are senseless advertisements. And the government, in spite of knowing that, as they are getting money from MNCs, they are very much spoiling the people and allowing all of these people to process and progress. We cannot blame anybody, but we should realize and experimentally we should prove that these beverages or any type of energy drink is not useful. What is there? Coconut water is there, lemon water is there, innumerable things are there, palm water is there. Is there anything better than coconut water? Is there anything which can provide that? There are innumerable things within our own system, traditional practices. So waste food culture has come now. That should be thrown out. They are totally against the child's nutrition and also a very big hindrance in developing a spiritual child. Third thing is food bin. Whenever you want to eat, you eat anything. If you put dust, that is known as dust bin. If you put any type of food, it is known as food bin culture. You are now hungry. Then naturally you will be angry also like me. Then immediately you have to follow something. You don't have some classification or categorization. You have to immediately do something. Otherwise which you will become a volcano. So we should see that we should not be if you are a dustbin, then totally you will carry everything that is unnecessary, that is harmful to you. Like that you should carry something which is very much useful. Whenever you are feeling hungry, you should be prepared with fruits. Even if you are having diabetes or any fruit allergy, taking one or two fruits or different varieties of fruits, it is not going to harm you. A handful of anything that is going to give you immediate or instant energy, first time you may not be feeling that. Initially if you start today or tomorrow you cannot feel. But gradually you will be accustomed to fruits. After 6 months you will be accustomed. Initially it will be a challenge. So this is the third problem in which there is food bin culture, fast food culture and waste food culture. How to get nutrition? The fourth thing is a very big problem in the society is, there was a book written by a person, Bentham I think. He has written a book, Death by Medicine. We used to hear that only medicines will resurrect our life. It will make us healthy and long-living. But now they have recently identified that medicines are the primary reasons for more deaths and non-extended premature deaths. Medicine, what is the difference between poison and medicine? Poison will immediately kill, but medicine will disable a person and he will die every day. That is the difference between medicine and poison. So drugs and medicine, how we are going to overcome? We have given a topic, food nutrition. But really when you go inside, what are the challenges in the society? Then next time we have to conduct 1 day workshop. I am coming on 2 days. 1 day workshop, how to increase our food vitality and how to, there is no possibility of getting organic food on all means. So by mantras and by self-energizing, how we can compensate the loss of energy or nutrition in the foods, That is a workshop. I require a board, a recorder. That is a one-day workshop. Fully from morning to evening, you will have answers for everything. Here it is an introduction only I can give within this 1 hour. So these 4 problems of the society. One is the fertilizer problem. Second is the transgenetic problem. And third thing is the waste food, fast food and the food bin problem. Fourth is the drugs that we have taken. Mother, there is one very big Stockholm consensus. Before 3 decades, they made a consensus at Stockholm University about the learning disability of modern children. Learning disability of modern children. What they have identified is due to the mother's consumption of sedatives, suppressors and psychotropic drugs and post-surgical hormonal imbalances, the child's mental ability is also lost. Most of the people, if they are not studying, why you are pressurizing? It may be your contribution, it may be a mother's gift to the child, or it may be the ancestral gift also. Like you are having diabetes and physical variations and also some incapabilities are traditional. Like that, it may be also something inherited from their own parents or from ancestors, remote ancestors. So it is very much to be understood that drugs, they consume our mental ability. They restrict physical growth. Second, they spoil our peace, happiness and harmony. There is a mental equilibrium of psychochemistry. Whenever there are some set of tranquilizers, you are calling a lot of things as tranquilizers. Like iodine is a tranquilizer. Magnesium is a tranquilizer. Sulfur is an irritator. Is an irritant. And calcite is an irritant. Then phosphorus is an irritant. If those contents are created more inside the body, a person's willingness to read or to study or to learn will be disobeyed by the body mechanism. He will get confusion, he will get headache, he will get diversion. He wants to go out of the place, naturally. Like that, being obedient to the parents, in everywhere he gets irritation. Instead of submission, he gets irritation, he gets ego. Not only mind is to be blamed, but also the body. So, this proper nutrition and its distribution that makes a person to get a tranquility due to body mechanism and its responsibility also. So there is a very big problem in this society. So unless we create a drug-free society or an auto-drug indication or auto-drug induction industry inside your body, like what we have developed in other plants, self-pesticides. They can create their own pesticides. You need not shower pesticides externally. In transgenic plants with their own pesticidal secretion, they have made new plants, they have cloned it. Like that, you should have your own control. The automatic drug generation synthesis that exists inside the body, that should be reincorporated by means of a spiritual or a semi-spiritual mechanism with herbal industry. Without which drugs are consuming most of the, if you take antibiotics, no doubt that the disease is released. And if you take every year 3 or 4 times of antibiotics, that will erode your memory and ability. You will be hyperactive or totally drowsy and inactive if you take more of these things, because there are no direct medicines at all. So whenever you consume a child, at least 1 or 2 years before that conception, you should be drug free, and then you should make the child to grow inside drug free, and after also at least for 5 years you should maintain the child drug free, totally drug free. It is a very big challenge. Unless you have alternative or counter components, you should not enter into the drastic exercise. Leaving this and also having an alternative is a jump inside a very big hollow hall. And one great doctor, he accepted something. We are having medicines not for solution. These things are interim slowdowns till we get the real medicines. In pharmaceuticals, there is no medicine at all. But each and every medicine is an interim support, transient support till we get the real medicine. Honestly, a doctor told. Like that, whatever we are having is a transient interim thing which is unavoidable. If you are going to remove it, what is the alternative? Which is going to substitute it? Are you having that? Either internally or from the pharmaceutical industry of your traditional lineage of Ayurveda or something? It is dangerous. We cannot just believe on advertisements and personal proclamations. So it is a risk, it is a challenge. There should be 2 or 3 people who should be taken for that post-pregnancy experimental risk or analysis, and we should do that. This is a very interesting thing. And coming to understanding the nutritional plays a role in child development. Child development is of 3 types. One is imagineering, second is engineering, and third thing is postnatal engineering or molding. Imagineering is a person's focused desire to get a child. It is a preconception, mental flow whereby they want to get a child. That is known as imagineering. And endo-engineering or endoetheric engineering is embryonic engineering whereby the child is engineered inside. With emotions, with food, with messages, with care, with concern and environmental ambience and spiritual shower, the child is fostered, nourished inside. After it comes out, that is known as endoetheric or endo-engineering or eco-engineering, where with the external environment the child is molded. So a child is developed inside your mind, brought inside your embryo and molded outside to a proper frame, after which the child becomes shielded by ethical fabric and spiritual prowess, that it grows as an ideal model child in the world, and it can technically handle any issue and prove to be identical and ideal with its own realistic values. So these three things are known as the proper way of nourishing the child. And there are innumerable problems in getting child. There are 4 stages which are known as rebirth. If you conceive a child, that is your second birth. To get a child, we are thinking that everybody is getting child. It is not so. Something that is very munificently granted, graciously showered, we cannot realize the value. As everybody gets child, we should know about the child only when we don't have a proper child or when we don't have child at all. So conception is the second birth. And holding a child every day, whenever you get up in the morning, it is a true real birth. And delivering a child, that labor and delivery, that is a very great birth. After that delivery, molding or shielding or framing the child's external and internal composition, that is also a different thing. So 4 stages of life we are getting: conception, holding, delivery and molding. These 4 things are there. And we have to take different people. Those who want to take a child and those who are having some sort of carriage and those who are about to deliver. Somebody will come just 2 days before the delivery. We want to join the class. Yes, you join the hospital class. So somebody, they will be having a small infant. That is also nice. Having a small infant and making everything, it is like a rewritable CD. First we have to press the button of escape and erase or delete command we should give. And all the other paternal unwanted connections we should erase, and we should rewrite on the CD of the child that it should get, we should get to reorganize the child structured by a special means. So that is also possible. And lot of people, they will bring grown up children, very well grown, like coconut tree, 25 years, 30 years, they will just bring. And somebody will be interested, when I was having some naming ceremony, a person who has crossed the age of 60, who has named at least a dozen of people in his own family, he wanted to be renamed. No doubt it is not ridiculous. Perhaps he may be believing, or there is also truth in the belief that if he write on the tongue at the day, he may be born with the same samskara at the beginning of the next birth, where he can proceed more. A lot of people are there, in which even though miraculously something has worked out in spite of the age, just as a lot of small people are there, for whom initiation becomes useless. There are also some aged people out of their enthusiasm. For example, energy enthusiasm. What we require for naming is adaptability. If your energy is 100 units required, a child has 80 units of energy. Because of its vacuumness, because of its youthness, because of its energy secretion, etc., it has 80 units. 20 units enthusiasm is required. A old age person may be having only 20 units of energy, but if his enthusiasm level with genuinity and purity inside the mind is 80 units, he can be easily equally named just as a child is there. And that samskara will be equally fruitful or even more effective than small children. So we have to measure also the enthusiastic ability of person, not mere enthusiasm. Mere enthusiasm with all people, that is dangerous. That is just like imitating the Shaktiman which one kid did. So it is enthusiastic ability, a person's genuinity with ability, the person wants to do something, then that is entirely different, irrespective of his age, surrounding, knowledge and various other verifiability and compatibility. A person's enthusiastic drive of purity can compensate anything at all. So, lot of people they are coming. But we have to classify the classes between preconception, conception, delivery stage and infant stage. These things are easily workable. All the other stages, depending upon the enthusiasm and rate of commitment with the ability, we can guide any person. Even at the deathbed, we can try to do something. What is there in trying to do? There is no problem. We can try to do something, even though we cannot give something before the end. We can make a better beginning. When I told something to a old man, I told that I cannot give you a productive end, but I can give you a prosperous beginning. That's what we can do. But we should not spare our effort in doing anything. And lot of people, the first problem is vilamba. Whenever getting children, the first problem is vilamba, delay. But delay is a problem in somebody and it is a boon in somebody. You should understand. If there is a delay, it is of different reasons. There are 4 types of delay. Why it is delayed? Match problem, maturity problem, mega grant and malady. There are 4 reasons the Shastra says. So the first thing is match. Even though the persons are healthy, the person's mutuality in fusion, that is reproductive fusion, that match will take its own time. It is by nature. It is not a problem, it is nature. Somebody can get it in 10 months, somebody in 10 years. But it should be the real match problem. If you are thinking the malady problem as match problem and waiting for that, then you will lose also the ability to hold that and deliver it. At some age, it is not easy to hold a child and to give a safe delivery. Then you will lose everything. So you should be very much understandable with the particular problem. That is known as match. Second thing is maturity. Each and everybody will be having emotional and biological ingredients, but they should mature and they should come with the frequency match. Match is something connected with their mental status and inner adaptability. And maturity comes with the biological ingredients. So there should be maturity of their sense and sensations that is connected with the inner ingredients. And the third thing is mega grant. Whenever somebody is going to get a fortunate child, whenever somebody is going to get a very great Grand Prix, whenever they are not going to get a salary but a lottery, at that time it may be delayed, but you should be sure that it is a lottery. Thinking everything is a lottery, delay, all delays are not lotteries. That is the third thing. Fourth thing is a malady. You are having a problem. That's why it is delayed. So it requires proper understanding in the society. Most of the people, considering the normal match and maturity problems, mega grant is not for all people. Match and maturity, it differs with people. 80% of the delays are match and maturity problems. They immediately go to the doctor, do some unwanted thing and spoil the spiritual nature and compositional value of the child at all. There should be a proper spiritual as well as a spiritual pathological counseling in our system, wherein we can distinguish, guide the people that it is a maturity problem. It may take 2 or 3 years, but it is assured you need not be medicine dependent. So artificial intrusion, invasion techniques, and exo-incubation methods which are there made by people due to their over-emotional enthusiasm within 5 or 6 years is nonsense. If it is maturity problem, then there is behavioral understanding counseling is there. If it is match problem, mutuality discussion and exercises are there. If it is a mega grant, then we have to go to God and pray for that. If it is a malady, go to a doctor. But only 1/4 is malady. All the things are not malady. You should understand that also. So it is a very great thing by which we have to understand where spiritual energy is useful. By that already I have given a Garbharaksha mantra. There is a Garbharaksha Vrata also. In our workshop we are going to give. Workshop will be fully loaded with powerful knowledge, just as yesterday's lecture was. Whenever you call for a lecture, you can hear only things. But to involve with the things, it should be a workshop. Workshop is time free. If you come to workshop, there will be food available. There is mutual intervals available for me also and for you. There will be blackboard. There will be a slow down process of recension and recitation, which is not possible in lecture. Lecture means we have to finish everything within that 1 hour. I should do justice to my topic. So I have to put everything in a tight package and render everything without minding whether you could follow or not. So Garbharaksha means it is 3 Raksha, they used to say in Sanskrita. There are 3 Rakshas in Garbharaksha. First Raksha is getting a child. Conception. The Shastra says that child, a grown child, a noble child and an ideal child. Putra, Suputra, Samputra, Samupaputra. Samupaputra is known as Satputra. So to get a putra, to get a child, a biological sheath or a case or a product is different from getting a fully grown, mature and socializable element. Getting a noble child is endowed with qualities and abilities. Ideal child is a role model for everybody. It is an exemplary product. So what you want is a child. Second is a fully mature child. It is also implied inside. But a noble child and an ideal child can be given only by extra nutrition, apart from your foot canal, there should be also a simultaneous parallel canal by which the spiritual vibrations or radiations are entering inside. So there should be a simultaneous feed bar, the biological growth of the child and ontological growth of the child to create a noble and ideal child. It should be parallelly maintained. First of all, what I told the parents is, first of all, if you want an ideal child, there are a lot of other mismatches in the society. Good husband getting a bad wife, and a bad husband getting good wife, and Ugrasena, his son was Kamsa, and Prahlada's father was Hiranyakashipu. There is a mismatch. But generally, as per the concept, if you want good child, you should be a good parent. You should be capable to produce a good child. There are some special cases in which, in spite of you being over good, the children are totally bad or worse or worst. That is rarer phenomenon. You should not take special items or special cases. In the generalized system of case study, you should be a proper tool and you should have a proper counterpart to coordinate with you to produce your competent and compatible child entity. So Garbharaksha is to see that the child is molded properly in your conception. And even if you conceive, there are innumerable ways for abortion and various other problems. There are three problems. One, the child becomes so strugglesome inside so that it should be heavily operated and kept in observation or something. Second thing is the child, by means of genetic collisions, it is born blind or some other defective, which is known as Garbhavarma. There are a lot of minutest points inside the womb. And the Garbhapinda, that fetus is very delicate, so that even a small current wavelength variation will affect a particular spot, which will make the child to lose the sight or audition or anything else with seriousness. You should understand. So in the Garbha also there should be Raksha. And also while coming out and also while living, you should take care of the child. So Garbharaksha is pre-conception, post-conception and post-conception. It is known as Garbharaksha, and Krishna is the deity for that, and Sudarshana mantra is exclusively meant for that particular purpose. It is known as Garbharaksha. And whenever coming to the case of issueless people, what is the problem for being issueless? There are four problems for being issueless. One is peripheral, second is phenomenal, third is pernicious, fourth is preternatural. If it is peripheral, then it can be treated with medicines. Any vitality problem or anything, it can be treated. Phenomenal, if there is any problem in the uterus or the concerned organ, etc., it can be vitalized also by means of various exercises and medical exercises. We can do that. Then pernicious, whenever there is a malady, a malignant tumor inside, whenever there is anything that is harmful to the system at all, you should go for a surgery or any other miraculous way if it is available. And if it is preternatural, that the person is uterusless or totally the person is basically not capable of doing anything else, they have to go for a social adoption or scientific adoption specially. So these are the various problems, and whenever come for spiritual counseling, peripheral things are very easy. And phenomenal things are very risky. They have to practice for 1 year. If it is pernicious, very difficult. They have to practice for 2 or 3 years. Preternatural, it may occur or not, otherwise they should go only for adoption. So God has created childless parents as well as the parentless children in order to create a mutuality in children. And even the Shastras have told, if you are childless, even if you want a child from your own produce, still for totally extirpating your sin due to which you are childless, you have to adopt a child. It is not transfer of property, it is carrying of a child by which the prayashita is being done. So there is also a shamikarana, a type of reconciliation in the society. Whenever the people are childless, whenever people are having mal-identified children, whenever people are having problem to their children that they are very much suffering for their life, struggling for their life, whenever they are having any issue-oriented problem, the prayashita, the remedial measure is to care for a child. A helpless child, it should be educated or should be fed or it should be given in marriage. There are 4 helps. One is a person's food and survival. Second thing is educational boosting. Third thing is professional settlement. Fourth thing is matrimonial alliance. Whenever your child is not having proper marriage and delayed, God has given a balance in society. 2 or 3 people, at least in silence, without any advertisement and high-flux boards, you just organize their marriages and seek their blessing silently. So whenever we are doing that, we are making also a social empowerment and social equality by which we are also getting our remedies and they are also getting their benefits. So it is a proper way. When that is preternatural, you have to adapt from our relations, you have to adapt from any other scientific method of any other new test tube baby or any satellite baby, it may come in 10 or 20 more years. You have to undergo some other special things. And one more thing I want to say, whenever you go for the scientific thing, you cannot get a spiritual baby at all. One is radiation. Whenever there is some radiation inside, whether diagnosis, in the pretext of diagnosis, or checking the gender of the child, and whatever you are doing for gradually or periodically monitoring the child by means of an inner vision, that is known as radiation. If you go for that, we cannot help with any spiritual methodologies at all. Every month you are watching, as if you are seeing the cricket results. Every hour they are checking what the cricket run, how much they have taken, what are the wicket numbers. Every day, every week, if there is a home-made software which is available, every day, morning and evening, they will be seeing what the child, how is doing. There is a limitation for a person's enthusiasm. This radiation is harm. Stimulation, when something is naturally happening, don't stimulate it. Suppression, when there is a natural feeling, don't suppress it. There are a lot of people who are suppressing their menstrual discharge, then hormonal other things. Naturally, they are stimulated and depressed. It is wrong. You can get a child, biological product, not noble and ideal child. You cannot get a spiritual bear inside that. That is the problem. Suppression is there. And intrusion and invasion, fixing something inside, removing something, altering something. These things are unavoidably, immediately, whenever you go to a doctor, immediately be frightened. Half an hour time you have to sign this paper, otherwise your life is in danger. Even a great Ayurvedic expert, at that time he will be afraid and he will sign the paper. Any person at that particular area, and what we want to say is, they have given, I am not totally against operation. Science has given lot of new doors opening. But in the pretext of scientific development, lot of people they are exploiting the society. Most of these cesarean cases are unnecessary. Most of these cesarean cases are unnecessary. We can have a safer delivery at all. But as they have remitted lot of fees in their educational arena, as they have purchased and constructed the hospital with a very great investment, huge investment, they want to get everything reimbursed and they consider you as a God-sent angel for reimbursement. That is the problem with the society. So if you go for radiation, stimulation, suppression, intrusion, invasion, we cannot get a spiritual child at all. That is the problem. The fourth thing, they are conducting lot of classes about this parental communication, talking with the child. Then somebody asked, can everybody talk with the child? Yes, you have the right to talk with your child, but you don't have the power to talk with the child. What is your right to talk? You are a mother and you can talk. That is your right. Mere emotions, they are not powerful. Emotion needs the couplet of power so that we can do that particular activity. Emotion is desire. If everybody has power of the desire, then everybody will achieve whatever they want. I want to be rich. If I am just thinking that I want to be rich without having any other thing, you see, that's what I told in one seminar. If your mother and father bless, it won't be valid at all. Then why it is told in Shastras, Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava? Because if they are sincere, if they are austere, and Pativrata is there, who is very much worshipping the husband. And the same thing is done towards a thug or rowdy, whose wife is also a devoted element, it will not come for work. There should be some sort of genuinity, purity and ability inside that should be coupled with a person's emotional valor. You know that? If your mother blesses you, each and every mother will bless their own children. It is very natural. A cockroach even it will carry its own young ones. Just as the various other birds are also feeding their younger ones with the nest. We are seeing it everywhere. It is commonly special with all elements in the world. But if your mother is doing puja, if your mother is meek and humble, if she is pure, if she is serving, if she is also willing that you should prosper, that willingness will couple with her ability of the austerity and exercises, and both of them will gain power. Intention comes from their emotional attachment, power comes from their exercises, both will couple together to bless you. You follow that? Anybody's intention. So, mother, anybody who is going to communicate with the children, we are seeing that how mother is not able to communicate with the children who is well before available in a grown structure. How to communicate with a superconscious or subconscious level of a child. It needs a special exercise. With emotion, along with your own exercises, there are 5 exercises. That is known as Suchi. She should be pure. By speech, at least for that 1 year, she should be very much speaking with humility. She should not be having any harsh voice. She should be always telling the holy names of God. She should be always thinking and telling good thing to others. Otherwise, she should observe silence. It is known as Suchi. Second is Ahara Neti. She should take powerful food like prasad from deities, prasad from acharya, prasad from devotees. Going to temples or getting prasad from temples. She should enrich their spiritual valor. And third thing, she should hear everything good like mantras, hearing good things and deal with the same thing in an inner drill. That should be there. Fourth thing, she should take a special exercise and repenting for her mistakes that he has done knowingly and unknowingly, she should purify. Without washing the plate, how you will make the meal to enter inside? First of all, anybody who is willing to get something, they should start with deservingness. They have to cleanse themselves by the purification exercise. The fifth thing is, they should get the affinity and association of great good people. For example, you cannot drive whenever you are in trouble or accident, but you can get the help of a driver and go there. So whenever you are in need, you can get associative benefit. For all of these people, those who are in need of any emotional balancing along with power to communicate with the children, they can practice hearing good things, speaking good things, eating good things, thinking of good ideas and associative benefit. I am not personally getting, with some association I can get. Like entering inside a submarine, I can go inside the sea. Entering inside an airplane, I can fly. So whatever we cannot make it possible, we can make it possible by associating with things which we can do that. So association is of four types. One is a scriptural association, where it is phono symbol, which is in the form of power. Do you follow that? Scriptures are the phonetic personification of God. And great acharyas are the fleshy personification of God. And idols and temples are the material personifications of God. And nature is the silent personification or multivarious personification of God. So through nature and its tranquility or placid atmosphere, through temples and through great souls and scriptures, we have to imbibe associative power, so that even though we are powerless, with their mercy and association, we can get lot of things. So I have made 5 models for these people, those who want to get some benefits. The first model is the best model. Before 1 year of conception, at the time of 10 months, and after 1 year, these 2 years and 10 months, they should be under a spiritual guardianship. This is the first thing, but nobody is interested in doing that. They are willing to be in the punishment areas for job. They are willing to be in various other areas where they do not get anything. They are even ready to be paralyzed for years together or to be in coma. But not for these things, people will be ready. 2 years and 10 months. And pre-conception 2 months, conception 2 months, delivery 2 months, post-delivery 2 months, 8 months they should be there. It is the second model. Third model is 3 months from conception, 3 months before delivery, 6 months they should be there. And the final fourth thing is 2 months before and 2 months later they should be there. And the final thing is 1 month before conception, 1 month before delivery and 1 month after delivery they should be there. And this area, it is not suitable. This is not suitable. If we have a land wherein by there is a musical theatre, there is a Nada Sabha, Geeta Sabha, Sangeeta Sabha, Prakriti Sabha, Chitra Sabha, Maya Sabha, Alankara Sabha, Puja Sabha, Dhyana Kendra, Pakashala, Goshala, Ashwasala, Namakirtana Sala, Prakriti Vatavarana Sala, Sat Sala, Sat Bhashana Sala, innumerable such auditoriums are to be made also available in a very big campus. And everybody going there should get, it is a spiritual supermarket in which you can get everything in spiritualism. And that is our real this thing. And whatever you do here, why we are going to do that? We should do that. Why we are doing all of these things? Because to demand such a place, to get such a place, and also to get the ability and resources to construct such a big auditorium, multi-level, super speciality spiritual market or complex, we require lot of resources and strength. We require lot of God's grace, and God will be monitoring whether we are honestly doing something or not. By monitoring on our honesty and sincerity in our efforts, within our limited ability, God will give us a very big post-dated or immediately sanctioned check by which we can receive the resources in various other human forms, get that place and get everything constructed later. And every day, whatever we are doing good to the people by delivering these messages will get imprinted in the God's divine consciousness, which will provoke His mercy to immediately offer the check by which we can purchase the land and do that. Unless we do that, each and everything is a fragmental exercise out of our honesty. Till we achieve something completely, we should be honest, and whatever the possible advice and training we can give to the society, we have to give, and we are giving. I hope that it should mature soon, and there should be a super speciality child incubation complex in which great citizens of the not only nation, even foreigners, they should prefer coming here, and they should live in foreign countries, but they should be born only in our country. India should be the global center for incubation of birth industry for all students to get proper breeding of noble children and idle children. They should say that Brazilian coffee is there, African diamond is there, Egyptian pyramids are there. Like that, there should be child incubation or child breeding only in India. Everybody can live anywhere else, they can prosper or they can lead anywhere else in the world, but they should be born only in India or getting fulfillment and precision. Narayan, Narayan.